Hey, Sahar.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going great.
It's so wonderful to finally meet you in the flesh, not
you so
behind
much.
a screen. Your Instagram account is at official Sahar TV, and you are a content creator who is advocating and debating and challenging through discussion about the Arab-Israeli conflict. I believe you have about 110,000 followers on Instagram, 23,000 subscribers to YouTube, and 124,000 followers on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you referred to as the calm and collected, educated Jew. I find you intellectually fearless. I would never want to take you on. And it's not because you can take people down. It's because you completely are equipped with facts and history and context and geography. And it's truly remarkable. So it is an absolute pleasure to meet you in person.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
So let's just get right into it. What inspired you to begin this journey that you're on?
The whole journey started after I saw this one particular guy that all of us know. His name is Hamza, the man with the red glasses. We call him Bislier in Israel. And what he does is he posts a lot of videos of little children on Instagram and on TikTok. And what he tries to do is he tries to convey the premise that the children in Israel are violent, that they're learned from a young age to hate Palestinians, that they learn from a young age to be hateful. But I did see that he was gaining a lot of views because this was speaking to specifically Gen Z. So I decided to start my own thing. I said, Israel doesn't have something like this. The Jews don't have something like this. It's a void, and I have to fill that void. And that's exactly what I did. I started my TikTok account. Before I started my TikTok account, I started going on TikTok lives where I would debate people from the other side. I don't like to call them pro-Palestinians. I like to call them anti-Jews because that's what they are. The pro-Pali is just a mask. And I would get on debates with them, and I would notice that these debates don't take you anywhere. And people do it to this day. They get on debates on the live. People mute them. It gets violent. People dox you. Nothing. You don't achieve anything. So I had to take a step back after I was doxed and ask myself, what could benefit the Jewish people? What could benefit Israel? So I decided to start this account. And from there, it just grew like a snowball.
So explain how this works. Do people call in? Do you call people? How does this actually work?
It's an app called Omi TV, which is the second version of Omegle, which went bankrupt. It's random people from around the world. When I started doing this, I lived in Israel. I choose a specific location that I want to speak with people from. So let's say I choose Canada. Most likely I'm going to get Muslims that I'm going to speak to.
Right.
And as soon as they see that I'm from Israel, the first thing that they say is, fuck Israel, fuck your family, and a lot of graphic things about my wife and my family. The first thing, they don't even know who I am. So that's how it starts. I record the whole thing, and I have my platform. They don't know I have my platform, and I post it if it becomes hateful or if I need to educate somebody. And I realize that because I speak to a lot of uneducated people, it's very easy to convey the message that I want to convey to the viewer because they're also not educated. So it's the same. It's like I'm speaking to a person in front of a camera, but I'm also speaking to the viewer watching my videos who doesn't understand the conflict. And then they get exactly the same thing that my interviewer, the same message that he gets.
And how do you know the types of people that are watching these interviews?
First of all, I have my insights, my statistics.
Okay.
Most of my viewers are not Jews. A lot of them are from Brazil. A lot of them are from India. I have about 40% viewership from India. A lot of them are because we have the same conflict. They have the same conflict with the Pakistanis, the Hindus. So people may think that this is an echo chamber and it's people from the same community watching my videos and they support one another. It's not the case. I have a lot of people messaging me from Saudi Arabia, a lot of people messaging me from Syria. They say, don't show my name.
Right.
But it is not an echo chamber, and I know it makes a difference.
So you've answered my next 10 questions, which is the impact that this is having. It's way beyond an echo chamber. So tell me how the responses have been.
When I started getting views, I didn't actually think, I was like, okay, yeah, it's only Jews are watching me, only Israelis are watching me. I didn't think it had any impact. But when I started getting the first message of somebody saying, hey, I used to watch Hamza, and I used to believe him, but then I watched his debate with you, and I researched the stuff that you said, because I tell people, don't believe me, don't trust me, just research the stuff that I say,
Right.
and get an opinion. So people actually did that, and I was able to get a lot of messages. The first one that I got was like, oh, I actually can't believe that it's working, because changing someone's mind is incredibly difficult. The most difficult thing to do is to get someone from the other side to change to a different side, because admitting your side is the wrong side, incredibly difficult.
How does that happen? I mean, I know you break your things down into lots of different clips. Are the ones that are the longest conversations the ones that you feel you're able to impact?
I uploaded a video not too long ago. It was a 10-minute conversation, and the guy changed his mind within 10 minutes because he saw specific things on TV and on social media.
Right.
And then he spoke to me, and then he skipped me. I uploaded that video not too long ago. And then I saw him again, and we talked very calmly. And he said at the end, "What's your social media account? I really like the way you speak. I like the way you convey the message. What is it? I want to learn more." So I posted this video. Of course, it did well because people couldn't believe how that quickly that guy changed his mind. So when people see that guy changing his mind, it doesn't matter. It could be a 3-minute conversation.
Yeah.
People change their mind that fast.
It's like it ignites, right? And then you just hope that it can continue.
It makes you wonder, if this guy changed his mind and I'm pro-Palestinian or anti-Jew, what made him change his mind? I got to watch this again. What made him change his mind? You try to, nitpick exactly what changed his mind, and then it affects you as well.
Right. So how do you have this box of knowledge because you're pretty young. How old are you?
29.
Okay. So how do you know all of this stuff? And it's not just like current events. I mean, it is so broad, the breadth of your knowledge. Where does it come from?
You may be surprised. I actually did not know a lot before October 7th. I wanted to do something else in life. I wanted to be a music producer. I have a tattoo on my arm. I've been producing music for 10 years. And then when October 7th happened, I received a phone call from my sister. She said, "Hey, listen, terrorists are invading Israel. Lock the doors, lock everything, make sure you're safe, make sure your fiance is safe."
So you were in Israel?
I was in Israel.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And then the first thing I wanted to know is, if I go on social media, am I going to find people that are going to be hateful, that are going to try to blame Israel? I went on social media and I couldn't believe what I heard. People started saying that the concert, the Nova Festival, was Bruno Mars' concert, and started saying a bunch of bullshit. So I started joining these debates. And after I got off, a lot of people said, "Oh my God, you're amazing." And they started sending me more live debates for me to join and to be a part of. And it just became a snowball and got bigger and bigger and bigger. As I was joining live debates, people started telling me, "Hey, you need to learn about this. A lot of people talk about this." And as the more debates that you do, the more you realize that the topics people talk about are normally the same. They always bring up the same. They bring up the Nakba all the time. They bring up Deir Yassin all the time. They bring up USS Liberty, that Israel bombed USS. You know that one.
Yeah.
So when they bring up the same points, you take a break for a second and you're like, okay, what's Deir Yassin that they always talk about? What's the Nakba that they're always talking about? What are all these events that they talk about? Let's break them down and let's find a good response. I read 2 books before I started doing the contents. The first one is The Case for Israel by Alan Dershowitz. The second one is The Industry of Lies. These are the only 2 books that I read. And I listened to some podcast of Mordechai Kedel. I don't know if you know him, but he's a great guy. He talks about Islam, about Arabs. That's how I acquired my knowledge. And with time, the more videos I posted, people say, "Hey, you need to find a way to sharpen this answer." And that's what I did. I just, I used my audience to correct me. I used my audience to refine my statements and my arguments.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're being humble, because there are more topics that you've covered that I have, fingers and toes to count on. So I don't think that, because it brings up thousands of years of topics and geography and Middle Eastern countries and the whole Arab world. And you really are able to respond directly to their point and debunk it. What, if any, similarities do you feel that there are amongst these interviewees, or even people, even haters that are commenting?
Most of them are Muslims. It all comes from Islam. The reason I'm saying this is because the first greeting that I get is usually in Arabic. It's usually a curse in Arabic. Maybe 95% of my connections on Omi TV, they start with curses from Muslims. That's the commonality. And by the way, I realized that if you break down to a Muslim, because Muslims don't believe that the Jews are connected to Israel because they don't believe they're Bnei Israel. They look at Jews and they say, these are modern Jews, but they're not Banu Israel, like it's mentioned in the Quran. But if you're able to break it down, who are Bnei Israel? They're the sons of Jacob, right? They're the tribes of Israel. And then you tell them, the Jews come from where? From Judea, right? So Judea is one of the sons of Jacob, one of Bnei Israel. And then when I explained this one time to a Muslim, he was like, that actually makes sense. And this woman that I spoke to, she deleted the first messages of ignorance. And she said, thank you for explaining. That actually opened my eyes.
So you really think these people are listening that you're speaking to?
Not all of them, but a lot of them do. Yes.
Has there ever been a statement or a fact, if there is one, that one of your interviewees has said that gives you pause?
One time somebody said, and I didn't know a lot about this at the time, somebody said that the Ashkenazi Jews originate from the Khazarian Empire. Have you heard about this?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. Same as me. That they're not actual Jews, that it's an empire, that a bunch of the people from this empire converted to Judaism, so they're not real Jews. They don't originate from Judea. But this statement was debunked, and I read about it. And their DNA actually links to the Middle East more than Europeans link to the Middle East. So the connection of Ashkenazi Jews is stronger to the Middle East than Europeans or the Khazarians. So it's just a false statement to villainize the Jews and make it seem like we have no connection to the land, the Ashkenazi Jews specifically, because that's usually the people they speak about.
I mean, that's interesting. So somebody said something and you were stumped, but I more mean something that made you pause and say, I never thought about it this way. Maybe you have a point.
I did speak to a Palestinian from Ramallah. That was one of my first interactions. And he said that he wants peace and he wants to be an Israeli citizen and that he wants to, be, I was like, it's kind of weird. How do you recognize Israel? You're not supposed to recognize Israel. So that kind of made me wonder if this guy was actually sincere with what he's saying. But
okay.
I don't have a specific conversation that I can think of where I was like, oh, you have a good point, because usually I'm very spot on my.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you really do not relent ever. So with the work you do, you've obviously faced significant backlash. What kind of threats or harassment have you received?
Obviously, I received death threats, many. Almost every day I receive one. I got a message not too long ago that my family should be beheaded just like the babies were beheaded and just like the people.
That they denied were beheaded.
Right.
The same babies, but now they were beheaded?
That specific woman, she said, I wish your family and yourself, I wish all of you will be beheaded by Hamas. Hamas are our saviors. I got this message yesterday. And usually I troll when I get these messages. I'm like, thank you, love. I appreciate, stop hitting on me. It's like, that's what I do. And it just pisses them off. But I usually get hateful comments every day, about 5 hateful comments. And people telling me, I'm going to find you. I know where you live. Yeah, it's scary to be in this space, but we're not Jews with trembling knees.
Yeah. So you were in Israel on October 7th, and you stayed in Israel until
5 months ago. We moved to Florida.
Despite these risks, you're continuing with your work. Do you feel fueled by some of the these types of comments that okay, I'm getting through because people are responding to me? Does that fuel you in a way?
100%. Of course. First of all, I think that, I don't think a lot of people would agree with me, but I think that anti-Semitism gets the Jewish people closer. And it makes me put tefillin. I didn't put tefillin before October 7th, nothing.
Yeah.
I wasn't connected to my Judaism at all. And October 7th made me change. And it makes me feel closer to every Jew that I meet. It makes me feel like our community is becoming stronger. And so it's creating a backlash on the people that are being anti-Semitic because they want us to disappear, but we actually become stronger.
Yeah. But I think most Jews would agree with you. No?
I don't think people don't like anti-Semitism and they don't like being hated.
Right.
I think that this is the fuel that connects the Jewish people. I don't suggest people to be anti-Semitic, but I think this is the glue of the Jewish people. This is what makes us thrive for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to just in looking through all of your posts, I have a few of my favorites. I mean, you're super entertaining. You really do have a range of serious, funny, sarcastic. First, I just want to ask you, do you ever just want to like reach through the screen and like strangle the person back?
Sometimes.
And so are you sort of by nature like a very even-keeled person, or did you find your even-keeledness in this process?
I had some interactions where I wasn't very calm and collected. I had some interactions. When it becomes personal, I usually don't remain calm. But the more people messaging me saying, I like how calm you are. I like how relaxed you are. I like the fact that you take some time to answer. People message me about this and I'm like, okay, maybe that's my niche. Maybe I should be more relaxed. Maybe I'm going to get through to other people through my calmness and my relaxedness. That's what I did. And it's magic like crazy.
It really is magic, because the other thing is like the calmer you are, the more enraged your interviewee gets. And that stark difference, I just wonder, I mean, obviously people who support you would see that. But do you think the other side, like the Jew haters, start to step back and say, ugh, this person is just cursing and threatening, and I don't like that?
So many messages I receive about exactly what you're talking about. They say, so from all the videos that Sahar is posting, I'm seeing one side trying to have a conversation, the other side cursing, the other side being disrespectful. It's pretty clear why there's no peace between Israelis and Palestinians.
Interesting. Yeah. You said they're all Muslim, but there's so much of your content is like campuses or Americans or the pro-Pali, pro-Hamas rallies. So what do you say about those people, like the university, the students that are not Muslim, and that you've literally like caught them in their own insanity of what they're saying? Who are these people, and what's the similarity between them?
Usually it's people with white guilt. Usually it's sometimes we also see Jews that say, stop the genocide, stop the ethnic cleansing. But there's some people, Jacob Berger. By the way, he's tokenizing the whole thing. He gets money from it. He gets donations from it. So he's doing it because he wants to be the token Jew. And I've seen it with my own eyes. When I approached him in one of the videos that I did, he was very calm and respectful. And then when he realized that I'm asking him about Israel, Palestine, about the Jews, whatever, then he was like, hold on, let me just whip out my camera. So he told his friend to whip out one of his friends to whip out the camera, and then he became incredibly disrespectful. He started shouting. He started making a scene for his viewers. But you were nice a second ago. What happened? Wow. What happened? What changed?
Yeah.
And by the way, the Jews that support Palestine, there's a scenario called internalized racism. It also happened in Nazi Germany. Some people think that if they support the more violent side, they're going to be protected once the day comes when they get attacked, that they're going to be the ones protected. You're not going to be protected. You're going to be the target just as much as I'm going to be the target, and just as much as you're going to be the target. Yeah. They don't realize that.
So to that point, I'm going to play one of my favorites.
Please.
Are you straight or gay?
I am gay.
But they would behead you because you're gay.
It's not your business.
It's not my business. It's their business. And you support a place. It's like chickens for KFC.
Yeah, that's me. KFC, chicken for KFC.
The fact that you are a gay person, which I don't have a problem with, and you advocate for the Palestinians that in a second would kill you, is mind-boggling to me.
Because you don't see them as a human. You think yourself are chosen. We are chosen by God.
How dare you blame the Jews for the death of these people?
It's okay. I cannot blame Jews, but I have to blame Hamas. I have to condemn Hamas. Everything Hamas is not Hamas in West Bank.
You specifically have to condemn Hamas because you're not a straight person. You're gay. They would kill you first.
Yeah. I am gay and I love Hamas. What's the problem? I want to suck Yahya Sinwar. That's my dream. And this life to suck Hamas.
You can't suck if you don't have a head.
Okay, so respond.
I mean, the fact that he's a Muslim, the fact that he is gay, and the fact that he wants to do homosexual acts to a person that's going to behead him is absolutely mind-boggling to me. And so I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even ready to make that response and say, you can't suck if you don't have a head. I wasn't ready for it. It just came out. Sometimes I get these moments. I don't know how. But this is the most insane situation. And by the way, when people see him on Omi TV, I have a friend, Yoav Beatbooks. He makes like beats. You know him, I'm sure. He saw him and he started, as soon as he saw him, he was like, chickens for kids. And the guy started singing with him because he knew that he was posted and people sing it with him.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pathetic that these people that are they're going to be the first one to be killed. These are the people that support Hamas. And I know that he supports Hamas only because they're Muslims and only because he's a Muslim and he has to support his brothers and sisters.
Right.
But he's the first in line to get killed.
Yeah. Sort of shifting a little more seriously, I just want to play this one. And I think it was a woman in
Jordan.
Okay, so I'm just going to play this one.
You're from the Netherlands.
No, I'm a peaceful neighbor. I call you from Jordan.
What made you think positively of Israel? Because I know that in Jordan, a lot of people don't like Israel.
Before 7th of October, I was very pro-peace, but I did not know that Hamas was very bad. I did not know. I thought they were just revolutionary. I did not know enough. I did not see enough information, you know? But after 7th of October, I fell in love with Israel and I saw the truth.
Can you cross the border and come to Israel if you want?
I am an oppressed Arab woman. I can't even drive alone. I have to have someone who is next to me who sees where I go because I was a bad girl.
If you would have the option to move to any country in the world, where would you move?
Israel. Because I want to give you the love that the world is too brainwashed to give you, you know? Israel is good. It's actually the light of the Middle East. You are the hope of the Middle East. I'm sorry that people around you are so brainwashed. They're so dead. They can't see the truth. They are so violent. It's not fair to you. It's unjust. You deserve love. You don't.
I want you to drive without anyone next to you. I want you to drive alone. You want to go to the supermarket? You go to the supermarket. You want to go to the train? You go to the train. I'm wishing for you freedom. I'm wishing for you the love that you deserve because you're amazing. Be'ava. Are you feeling lonely?
By the way, to the last thing that I said, yes, she said she feels lonely. She asked me to blur her face because she's scared of the consequences. But she had more conversations with me and my friend Yoav. And then she said, please stop blurring my face. If this is my truth and I support Israel, then let the faith be the faith and just stop blurring my face. But we still kept posting her with the blurriness because she's such a valuable asset to the advocacy that we tried to do. And again, yeah, it almost makes me cry to see this incredible oppressed woman not being able to speak openly about Israel.
And even though she wanted to be unblurred, you kept her blurred for her own protection.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, how many more like her do you deal with?
Almost every person that I speak to from Iran supports us. But before I ask for permission to post, I say, you guys are from Iran. Do you have any family in Iran? If they say yes, I don't post.
Yeah.
Because their families could get in a lot of trouble. So a lot of great conversations with people from Arab countries, specifically, I mean, Iran is not Arab, it's Persian, but amazing conversations that I can't even post, which is a shame because people need to see the beautiful side of Iranians.
Yeah.
They need to see the beautiful side of Muslims that support us, and they don't get to see it. And that's why a lot of children in Israel, when they go on these stupid debates with Hamza or the other guy, B. Fendi, Dalton, they have a very negative image of Arabs because of what they see on social media, of the people chanting, Khaybar, Khaybar, ya Yaoud, whatever Muhammad did to you in Khaybar, we're going to do to you again. They see that, so they get a very negative image of Arabs. But there's beautiful Arabs that speak like this. And they're the best advocates for Israel, the best advocates for Jews. They are.
Do you see a world in which your content would ever reach schools, children, the next generation of Muslim children, Arab children that really need to hear this the most?
You're talking specifically about Muslim children?
Muslim children.
I don't think so. No, I'm not liked in the Muslim world. And why would I be liked? You know, it's taught in their culture. It's taught in their hadiths that the Jews and the Christians are disbelievers. So, and it also says in the Quran that you cannot make a disbeliever your friend. Why would they teach my stuff? If my stuff specifically, my content specifically talks about how this is not a political war, this is a religious war. Because if all of the Jews in Israel would convert to Islam, God forbid, then we would not have a war right now. And you can ask any Muslim. If all the Jews in Israel would convert to Islam, would we have a war? They say, why would we have a war?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you and I wouldn't be sitting here right now
Exactly.
because I would be too underdressed.
Exactly.
So what are your big plans? I mean, it's pretty big what you've done, but where do you go from here seeing the capacity for your impact?
I have two things that I want to achieve. The first one is I really want to grow my YouTube channel and open it more for live debates. So instead of having a conversation with screen to screen, it's going to be face to face, just like this, with a person that supports Israel and the person that supports Palestine, which doesn't actually exist, but Palestine, let's say that. And I want to grow it into a platform that could be very beneficial for our people and for the rest of the world. And the second thing that I want to show and my message that I want to try to convey is that it's super easy to do what I do. And if you educate yourself enough on the right topics, and by the way, I'm writing a journal right now with all of the topics that people tackle me with the right response. And it's going to tackle Islam, it's going to tackle Judaism, it's going to tackle all of the topics that they bring up. And then maybe I'll even publish it so people can obtain it.
Please do.
Yeah, of course, but it's in the works. I want people to know that it's very easy to do what I do. And everybody can record their screen. Everybody can record their interaction. Even if they don't know Allah, just record the hatefulness of the other side and post it. It does an amazing impact. And if I get millions of views, everybody can get millions of views. This type of content is amazing for Gen Z. They love consuming it. It's not serious. It's not aggressive. You're not like, oh, October 7th again. I don't want to hear about this. And they skip. No, it's easily consumable.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the goal that I'm trying to achieve. Israel should spend less money on doing posters and signs and TV commercials and go straight to the source that causes all of this confusion and start investing in creators, in people that release content on TikTok, content on Instagram, and actually make the right impact. Because again, when I say I get millions of views, it's Israel gets millions of views and the Jews get millions of views. Why can't you create more people like me, duplicate me, do the same thing, and we can win this battle? Doesn't matter that they have more Muslims posting propaganda. We can win. We can win because at the end of the day, facts always win.
And at the end of the day, the propaganda, as long as we can dispel it with your facts and the real facts, then that's how we win the war too.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're literally giving facts. So when you go out into the world, putting your phone aside and you interact with people, what, if anything, do you feel different than when you're behind your screen debating people? Like when you set up those tables and then people come up and talk to you?
That we did with Diplo Act.
Yeah.
And they flew us here. Great organization. I didn't feel very safe. It was a lot more aggressive than doing it behind the camera because nobody can attack me. We had an interaction with the guy. That video did pretty well. And he said that we should be killed. But he said it right in front of our face. That's the first time I experienced it, live. That was incredibly scary. I actually got up to him and I walked in front of him and said, he said, "You are a white colonizer." I said, "Am I a white colonizer?" Like I showed him my skin.
Yeah.
And on video, it didn't look like I was scared. I wasn't scared, but it was definitely a shocking experience to experience it firsthand. I'm going to be quite honest. I don't even know what it's like being a Jew in New York, living in New York. Just getting on the subway, you look at every person on the train and you're like, this guy could be the next person that's going to assault me because you don't feel safe walking with your Star of David.
I do.
I know, I do as well. My wife did this today. I said, no, we're going to keep it open today.
Yeah.
It's going to be out. But doing it live is incredibly, incredibly nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done. This kind of content actually generates a lot more viewership than doing it camera to camera.
So 5 years from now, what's the status with the impact that people like you are having?
First of all, in 5 years, I want to be the Mizrahi Ben Shapiro because I feel like that's where the content is going to go. I wish that me and people like me can go on debates, in Oxford and do this. It's scary to think about this, but this what needs to be done. 5 years from now, I hope that there's going to be an army of people that do exactly the same thing that I do, that we can make an impact. I know we can make an impact. I know we can change people's minds. It's not even a question. And maybe we can even start a school of advocacy for Jews. I hate saying the word hasbara. Hasbara irritates me a lot. Puts us on the defense, like we have to explain something. We don't have to explain anything.
Yeah. Sahar, thank you so much. I actually see you running that army one day, and I look forward to continuing to follow you in your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening. For more, you can visit Instagram at Grace for Impact Podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, please follow the show, leave a rating and review. See you next time.
Hold on through the night.